Good afternoon. Welcome to Las Vegas Rotary. Our invocation today is by David Jones.
If you would, please join me in prayer today by bowing your head according to your own faith, your own tradition, custom in which you're accustomed. Our Heavenly Father, we express our gratitude and our thanks to Thee for this opportunity to meet together as a Rotary Club. We're grateful today for our speaker, Clay T. White, and we pray on her behalf that the words and the thoughts that she communicates with us will be pleasing to her, as well as will be carried into our hearts, that we might be mindful of those Rotarians that came before us, that we may look to them, the service, the sacrifice that they provided for this community, that it may inspire us to stand on their shoulders and to continue the great work of Rotary in this community. We're grateful for this city of Las Vegas and for the opportunities that it provides us to serve. We pray and ask that we might be inspired, that we might look to Thee and to our fellow men to be able to help and assist in every way we can. We pray for Thy blessing to be with us now at this meeting. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Thank you, David. Our song leader today is Susan Ziobro.
Thank you, President Katie. Hello, fellow Rotarians. I was tempted to sing Home on the Range because we're going up to the cabin this weekend, right, for the Alpine picnic. But the standby is God Bless America, and I need your help today because I don't have much of a voice. 3, 2, 1. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her from the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Thank you, President Katie. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance. Thank you. Our Sergeant at Arms today is Tom Thomas, and he's looking for people to find, so behave yourselves. Do we have any international visitors today? Nope. Do we have any visiting Rotarians today? Seeing none, do we have any guests of Rotarians today?
All right, I have a guest over here, and it is, pardon me, one of my friends from my dog park group. So if any of you are friends with me on Facebook, I post lots of things about that. And she is retired, and her name is Leslie Owen.
Welcome, Leslie.
We have two guests here today that are guests of our speakers, guests of the club. First is Sarah Quigley. She is the Director of Special Collections and Archives. You want to stand up and wave at everybody. And Stephanie Evans, who also works with Clay T. at the Oral History Research Center at UNLV.
Any over here still? Moving the, oh.
Sorry.
Good afternoon, everyone. Once again, I have my oldest friend. She didn't want me to say that. Tawny White joining us because she wants to hear Clayty today.
My old friends like to be called the friends of longest standing, not the oldest friends.
Thanks, Katie. Thanks, Tom. I'd like to introduce, if you haven't met him before, my son Cooper Houghton just came in. He's a student at Western Washington University in Bellingham, Washington.
Welcome, Cooper.
Good afternoon, Rotarians. We have two guests here, guests of the club via Mike Ballard. I have John Edmund and his daughter Corey. They also know Clayty as well. So welcome to our club today.
Welcome. Do we have any other guests of the club? No. Okay, I'd like to introduce our head table today. We have Clayty White and Stephanie Evans, you already met, and Sarah Quigley, Tina Bishop, and our past president, Jackie Thornhill. So. We have an announcement, Stu Lipoff, about the school donation.
I finally get the salad out of my mouth. Hello, everyone. So I'm very happy to announce that Arlene Sarah, through her husband, who works at the M Resort, has managed to arrange for two very high-end copy fax printing machines to be made available to our local schools. And working through the Public Education Foundation to broker the deal, we have matched them up to the Long School, who will be receiving these two machines. So they're worth about $3,000 each, and they provide for high-speed copying, printing, faxing, and the school says they could really use it in their day-to-day work. So thank you so much, Arlene and Mike.
Thank you so much. That was so great that we were able to make that happen. Jim Hunt.
Hello, President Katie. We had a great send-off from Michael and Amanda last Friday night at the beautiful home of Randy and Sally Donald, one of our best turnouts. We raised just under $1,500 net for our grand total now that we've supported the foundation with $23,350 since we started these cigar fellowships. So it was great. I want to thank everybody that donated gift prizes, Bill and Janice and Nikki and everybody that donated gifts, Brian Sorrentino. Want to thank you for being the high bidder after box of cigars was won by Bob Warner and auctioned off again. And then you gave it back to us again. So we'll have that for a raffle prize for our next cigar fellowship. And while I have the mic, Katie and I were talking, I want to mention a little milestone today in one of our other endeavors, which is delivering wheelchairs to the homes of those in need. For the guys that are in the room that are on our team that do this, I'm so proud of everybody because we bring these to everyone throughout the valley, whether it's Henderson or North Las Vegas or the Southwest Valley. Today, I got a call about 45 minutes ago from a friend who said, "Are you still doing wheelchairs?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "I have a friend of a friend who's on disability. He's in UMC. And he lost a leg to diabetes last year, and they just took the second leg. Is there any way we can get him a wheelchair?" So I'm going right from here to UMC to deliver wheelchair number 200. So pretty happy about that. Please continue to spread the word that we have these wheelchairs available. All they have to do is be a permanent resident of Nevada, have a permanent disability, and can't afford a chair, and we'll bring them one in some cases like today in a matter of a couple of hours. Thanks very much.
That's amazing. Thank you, Jim. New member orientation, Rose.
Where did Rose go?
Where are you? Oh, well, we'll come back to her. Barbara Castro.
Thank you, Austin.
I know, I love him. Okay, so like three things. First, I want to thank Antoinette for welcoming into our home last week. We had a social at her house. It was really nice. We had a guest speaker, Clay T. She's here today. She'll be speaking about interviewing Rotarians. So that was really nice that she showed up there. Also, the second thing. So we're going to have the hike and the Alpine picnic. There's a flyer too up here in the front if you guys need help with location. The hike is going to be at 8:30. Well, that's when we'll arrive, and she's planning on leaving at 9. If you guys want more information about that, talk to Rosalie. She'll help you out with that. Then after that, the Alpine picnic will start at 11 and end at 3. But there will be, possibly weather situations that day. There may be a storm. You guys want to leave early, go ahead. We are going to take a look though and just kind of watch out for that. But feel free to leave if you guys need to. Don't want anyone getting. Oh, okay. So we're staying the night at Tom's? Okay, all right. So whoever wants to stay at Tom's, he just said that we can stay the night. I have 2 kids, so if you don't mind that as well. Did I cover everything? I think that's it. So hope to all see you guys there. Thank you.
Just bring your waterproof sleeping bags. You'll be fine. I'm not expecting snow, just rain. So who cares, right? Jamie, you're up. What was that? Oh yeah. Do not bring plastic water bottles. Bring your own water containers of any kind. I've got a well up there. Goes through about 2,000 feet of limestone by the time it gets to my place. So it's a lot better than anything that comes in a plastic water bottle.
And no dogs.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jamie Goldsmith. I am the president of the Southern Nevada Safety Officer Award Recognition Ceremony that will be held at Las Vegas City Hall on September 12th, starting at 8 a.m. We do need some volunteers to help Rose set up and break down the breakfast. So if you're interested in helping out, please either speak to me or Rose. I am going to be the guest speaker at the North Las Vegas Rotary Club tomorrow morning. So if anybody is up by Los Prados Golf Course and wants to learn more about SOAR, please stop by there at 7:15. Thank you so much.
Question's been asked about bringing dogs up the Alpine picnic. They're welcome outdoors. So bring your dogs, but they'll stay outside. And then also you might want to bring a camp chair, a waterproof camp chair. I think you're next. No, Karen is.
Are you headed for Karen?
I am now.
Okay.
I had everybody strategically sit close.
Good move.
Good afternoon, Rotarians. Just a reminder that we have the golf putting tournament, family-friendly putting tournament coming up on October 6th. And thanks to the email that Sean sent out, I'm happy to announce that we have all our major sponsors. Thank you to Alara Group for our tournament sponsorship. And for the other major sponsors, Home Smart Encore, Rose Faloco, Realty One Group, Nancy Anderson, Spara, Kirk Homes, and Austin, Affordable Concepts, Inc., Bob Potter, and Horizon Print Solutions, Bill Houghton. So we have all our major sponsors. What we could still use more of is whole sponsors. The price is $50 per person. The book is going around for sign up. We also need players, and the price of that is $40 for adults and $20 for children. That includes your barbecue and the putting tournament itself. So hope you can all make it. It's on Thursday, October 6th.
Thanks, Karen.
Now Ginger, right?
Okay.
I
And
was
then you
early.
can get Rose. She's right by there too.
Oh, let's do Rose first.
Okay.
Okay, just a reminder, everyone, about the new member orientation Tuesday night, Nancy Anderson's home. The address and gate code are in the book. If you haven't signed up, please do so, 6 p.m. and come hungry because there will be lots of food. Thank you.
Thanks, Rose. I guess you're going to have to escort Ginger up here because she wants the podium.
There you go. Okay. So that's what the sergeant does. Carol Merrill. For old people.
Thank you, President Katie. Okay. Stu, do you have my, okay. Good afternoon, everyone. You know, I've been up here hundreds of times in front of you and I'm freaking nervous. What the heck? Anyway.
Best manner.
All right. Thanks, Stu. It's my honor today to announce the kickoff of one of our most beloved programs in the club. One of our favorites in the history of the club, which is 100 this year, if you can believe it. Today, we're starting the 27th annual Santa Claus program. We're starting a little earlier than usual because we have a very special opportunity to have our donations. Anything we receive by October 31st will be matched dollar for dollar by the Ingolstadt Foundation this year. So we want to maximize the impact of the match, and so we need everyone to make your pledges early. In just a moment, I'm going to show the Santa Claus video, but first here's a little bit of the history for our newer members and our guests. A lot of people in the room may remember taking part in the very first Santa Claus in 1996. We served 35 children, and we spent about $3,500 that year shopping for shoes and clothing for the kids. And then they were bused to the Desert Inn Hotel and Casino for lunch, entertainment, and gifts. Since then, the program has grown steadily. In 2001, we reached 100 kids served that year. In 2004, we hit 200. And in 2009, we got up to 300. This year, we're inviting 365 kids to participate. And what was once a committee of one is now about 30 people that it takes to make this happen. So, and all members of our awesome club. Almost all of the Southern Nevada Rotary clubs now participate both financially and with volunteer shoppers. And it's one of the most anticipated Rotary events of the year now. So all that's left to do now is just ensure that everybody in the room, your family members, business associates, employees, trusted friends will once again answer the call for help by contributions and by giving a little bit of your time to shop for shoes and clothing for a child in need. It will be the greatest thing you and they have ever done for those who haven't done it before. When you do, we'll have upwards of 800 people participating in Santa Claus. This year, we're increasing the spending for each child in order to provide just as much clothing as we did before this current inflationary environment. Each donation of $125 will sponsor a child in need. However, if you're unable to sponsor a child, your donation, any size, will be very, very helpful. And this year, every dollar will equal $2 toward the program. With that in mind, please take a look at the overview of the Santa Claus program, and then I'll give you some statistics.
Santa Claus has now become a very large program that serves the needs of children throughout the Las Vegas Valley. Our goal is to provide winter clothing, shoes, and socks to children who don't have them. There are children in this valley that come to our program to shop with our Rotarians and volunteers that literally have holes in their shoes. And when we first started, there was only 35 kids that shopped with us. And in this last year, we had 317 children shopping at 3 malls simultaneously. It's a program that not only provides clothing, however, it also provides mentoring through our Rotarians and volunteers, their family members and co-workers shopping with the kids, helping to guide them to make good purchases for winter clothing. Rather than one large purchase, they can buy several pairs of pants, let's say, and a jacket and some shoes and socks.
Good eye. Okay, let's go try them.
And after that's done, the mentoring continues over at UNLV, where we have football players, soccer players, cheerleaders out on the field. They play on the sports field for about an hour. And after that, they're brought into the lead auditorium where they're given a lunch. They're also given a talk by usually the UNLV president welcomes them with a couple of nice talks from various guest speakers. And then after that, we give them a choice of a soccer ball, basketball, or football on their way out of their mornings. So our goal is to first and foremost clothe them for winter, but also give them an experience that they'll remember for a long time.
You got a pair of shoes, a lot of shoes, socks, new shoes. I bought some shoes too. Sweatshirts, some sweatpants, sweats. I got some pajamas, a jacket. I bought a dress. I'm gonna wear it on Christmas. Some plaid shirts because I like plaid stripes, and the cap.
And a Spider-Man jacket.
Yeah. Even has a hoodie.
That's the excitement that these kids feel of getting new clothes for the first time in many cases.
For them to come to JCPenney is a big day for them.
This is awesome. I've never been to JCPenney's before.
But these children, some of them, have never shopped for anything new before. This is, in many cases, it's their first new pair of shoes, their first new pair of pants, their first anything new. So we're giving them experiences not only for shopping, but the interaction between Rotarians trying to do good in the community and mentoring them.
This guy I met, she is the most probably sweetest girl with the best manners. I've never seen somebody her age. She's 10. You would never know she was 10 because she has the best manners. And she has this style and taste from her older sister. Her sister's 18. And she really knew what she wanted, and she got to pick a lot of things that she enjoyed.
I heard this one kid say, I hate being here, but at the end of the day, I heard him say, I love being here with my sugar.
We had a Rotarian a couple of years ago that had sadly recently lost his father. And he really didn't have the Christmas spirit, he had told me, going into the program. But he went to Santa Claus because he knew it was important to help the kids. And after he was done shopping and the night of our Christmas party, he came up to me and it was like he had almost been, reborn, if you will. He was so heartwarmed with the little girl that they shopped with that he said it helped him to get through the passing of his father. The experience really is not only for the children, it's for the Rotarians themselves to experience what giving back to the community can be. And it's a direct, instant gratification when you see the smiles on those children.
It's those smiles at the end of the day that just, they warm your heart and bring a tear to your eye. To me, it's better than Christmas Day. It's the best day of the year.
This guy told me that the best part of her day was sharing it with me so far. It made me feel wonderful. It was really sweet.
Just makes me feel very fortunate for my family and so lucky that I can help some other children out.
I tell you, it makes you feel great. And we talk about Rotary, this is what it's all about. This is great.
Makes us feel, anything that we have wrong in our house, it's insignificant because this is what it's all about.
That Rotary Club, one of the students said on the bus on the way here, that Rotary Club really loves us, don't they? And I said, yes, they do.
This little girl, toward the end of our shopping day, said to me, she says, thank you very much. This is really great. And she looked very concerned. And she said, why would you do this for me? I said, because you matter to us.
Wow, those kids and those Rotarians get me every single time. So I just want to say something, it's not in my notes, but the program has grown the way it has under the leadership and would not be here without the leadership of Jim Hunt, Tom Krob, and Randy Donald, who just have worked their fingers to the bone to make it what it is. So thank you so much. And if Michael were here, I would include him as well, because the last couple of years, Michael has really stepped in and done a fantastic job. So a few items of note, mark your calendars for Thursday, December 8th. Check-in at the JCPenney stores will start at 7 a.m. at the Grand Canyon, Meadows, and Galleria malls. There will be no weekly meeting that day, and our Christmas party will occur that evening. And just a quick overview once again. In 1996, 35 children took part in Santa Claus with a budget of $3,500. Last year, we served 348 children and provided goods and services with a value of $114,240. The total value of goods and services purchased for needy children, thanks to your donations to date since 1996, is almost very close to $1.6 million. These achievements are without a doubt something we can all be very proud of. But in order for us to continue to help so many in need, now more than ever, it's critical that we realize the successes of our past in no way guarantee our success in the future. So please help us achieve continued success by pledging as much as you can, as early as you can, so that we get that extra dollar per dollar. And by experiencing the joy of helping others by signing up your loved ones and trusted friends to shop with us on Thursday, December 8th, in case it's not already in your calendar. Thank you so much, and we look forward to working with you on this year's Santa Claus event.
As a point of clarification, if friends or companies want to help donate to this, they just make the check out to the Las Vegas Rotary Foundation, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you. Do you want to go back to Rose? You already did do Rose.
I think we got all of Rose, right? Okay.
We got a lot of Rose.
All right.
John Pally.
Where is John?
There he is.
All right, from one exciting thing to another. So I don't know if anyone heard the rumor, but there's a celebration for the 100th year of this club coming up. Anyone hear about that? Okay. So yeah, that's happening in April. Is the date official? Okay, April 1st. So put it on the calendar. And we're putting together the sponsorship packages, have some really great opportunities for people that are able to do a sponsorship. We'll be getting those out soon, as well as save the date cards. First, if you want to be a sponsor on that save the date card, talk to me and we can see if we can make a deal. And was that it, Janice? All right, that's it. Thank you.
Thanks, John. Thanks. Is Gary Voss here today?
He sure is.
Good.
Right in the center.
And Melanie Muldowney is here. We have a little presentation. A big presentation.
You don't want me to give him the mic?
Yeah. No, I think they're going to come up here and do it.
Okay, I'll give the mic to Russ Swain then.
Next week.
Well, on behalf of the Las Vegas Rotary Foundation Board of Trustees, I'm here today to acknowledge our newest Tiberti Fellow, Melanie Muldowney. So we're sorry we don't have a pin to give you, but what we can do is offer you our sincere thanks. As you know, a Tiberti Fellow is awarded when you reach the $1,000 gift mark, then you become to the Rotary Foundation, then you become a Tiberti Fellow. So again, congratulations and thank you.
Thanks, Gary. Not to be confused with the Rotary Foundation, but that's the Las Vegas Rotary Foundation. Mike Kudimont. And would Kirk Holmes and David Squire come up?
Yeah. So there's a lot of things happening in the world right now, and Rotary International Foundation has been supporting this. And it is because of people like our very own Kirk Holmes, who's receiving Paul Harris Fellow +3 today. Yeah, number 3.
Thanks, Mike. And thank you, Kirk. I want to thank all the behind the scenes people that help make this meeting happen every week. Sarah Thornton and Kathy Mann set up this morning. Arlene Surwa was our greeter, and Marie ticket sales. Jim Tucker, our photographer, and Nancy Anderson is our scribe. Our AV team today, Steve Latta and Stu Lipoff. And cleaning up after us today, Bob Pizer and Christine Luby. And now for our drawing. The pot before today's donations was $6,244. And the deck is dwindling. So the ticket number to draw for the pot is 3610733. Kathy.
No big deal. Okay. It needs, and you get $10. There you go.
So the pot grows and the deck dwindles. The ticket for $50 in Lowry bucks today is 301. It is 361. I can't see. 107, no, 3610714. Come on up. Is it Dawn? Somebody. 3610714. 3610714. Wow. You know what? Let's get another ticket. Yes. Wake up.
So can I auction those off?
Sure.
Okay, we'll auction these off. I think that's findable for delay of game. More than $50. 55? 60? Anybody?
We're auctioning off $50 worth in Lowry bucks for more than $50.
Okay, for $50. Anybody give me $50 for these? Need I got to go below that? Okay, we get $50.
Okay. Thank you, Steve, for your contribution to the foundation. Bob, you got to work on your sales skills. And at this point, we have a few minutes for fellowship before we introduce our speaker. Jackie, would you like the floor?
Thank you, President Katie. John mentioned earlier, the other big project we have this year is our centennial celebration. And I have a committee of 4 who's currently working on a commemorative book.
which will look in this format. I've already contacted the publisher and we've been given a price and a timeline. We were all over at UNLV, the special collections earlier this week to see what we had over there. We had boxfuls. Plus we had a lot of archived photos on the website, but not enough. I'm putting out appeals to those of you that have been in town for years or have been a member of this club for years. Please, we need photographs from the 90s and the 2000s. There was none in the archive. And so if you have any of those, please forward those to me. I need them in, I prefer them in black and white, but if you've got them in color, I can convert them. And the other thing is, does anyone in here who have been in Las Vegas for years and years and years know a man named Frank Matrani, who used to be a photographer for the RJ? Does anybody else? Katie knows him. Anyone else? Remember, knew him. Yeah, he's passed. He also has a massive archive of pictures from our club in the archives from the 80s and the 90s, which we have currently are unavailable to us. So they're locked out, but I do have information from him that he has a citation, and it appears that he is available somewhere to give us permission to use these beautiful photographs that are already in a format that we need. I need to get all this stuff to the publisher by Monday, much of it, so that we can have these books delivered by December in time for Christmas. So if any of you know any heirs of this individual we could contact, that'd be appreciative. And if any of you have any pics, please forward them to me as soon as possible. Thank you very much.
So there are a group of us who were presidents in the 90s, and I know I have a box full of things from my year, and hopefully you guys do too. So will you dig through it and shoot it over to us, please? Thank you. So enjoy a few minutes of fellowship, and we'll introduce the speaker in a few minutes. I have a couple of announcements before Tina Bishop comes up to introduce Clay T. Please keep the green book moving. There's a lot of information in it. We need to get it around so people can sign up for it. So please keep that moving. And if you don't get a chance to look at it, it'll be up here after the meeting. Also, if you have not had your picture taken or you need your picture taken for the roster, please see Jim Tucker after the meeting and he'll get that handled for you. Thank you. Tina, you're up.
Thank you. So it's my pleasure to introduce Clay T. White, who is the inaugural director of the Oral History Research Center at UNLV. She came to Las Vegas in 1992 when she enrolled in a master's program of American history at UNLV. Shh. It was that program that opened the door to her destiny in oral history. She wrote her thesis on the roles of African American women in the Las Vegas gaming industry, 1940 to 1980, and used oral history as the methodology to conduct her study. Then, to understand and put her research into context, she had to research the whole community, so she began to learn the history of Las Vegas. Ironically, at the time she finished her master's degree, UNLV did not have an oral history program. It wasn't until the university found funding for the program that the center came to be in 2003. That begins the story she will tell us today. Clay T.
I love the introduction. Thank you so much. So that is not the introduction that I sent to her. She did all of that research herself. So thank you so much for having me. It's wonderful to be here. I never say no when the Rotary Club calls, no matter which location, because without Rotary, there would be no Oral History Research Center. So I want to introduce you to my colleagues once more. I work in the Oral History Research Center with Stephanie Evans, and our boss, our brand new boss, is Sarah Quigley. Yes, yes. So I want you to get to know Sarah Quigley because I told her I was inviting her here today because she was going to meet the movers and shakers of Las Vegas. So please introduce yourself to Sarah before we leave. I also have two friends, special friends in the audience today, and I did not expect them to come. John Edmond and his daughter Corey. So John Edmond is one of the people that I interviewed way back when. He was one of the first, if not the first, African-American Baccarat dealers on the Las Vegas Strip. He was hired at the Stardust by Frank Rosenthal. So that's how long ago that was. So I want to talk today just a little bit about the beginning of your club. So the Rotary Club of Las Vegas was formed in February of 1923, chartered in April of that same year. The founders met in the chocolate shop at 203 Fremont, which is now part of the Golden Nugget. Ooh, how do I do this? Oh, do I point it to the computer? Okay, that makes sense.
Oh, try the. You hit the down button. Oh,
Yeah.
you did that? I did that.
Oh, it works now. So the traditions of the Las Vegas Rotary saw many new twists in 1995 and 96 as Katie Crockett became the club's first female president. Two major goals for the year were improving fellowship and service opportunities, with Steve Casey, interviewed by the Oral History Research Center, as membership chair, and Bert Perdue, interviewed by the Oral History Research Center, as orientation chairman. We increased our membership by 13 to 175 members. So that's a little bit about your beginning. Now I want to talk about Dr. Boyer. I said that without the Rotary Club, there would be no Oral History Research Center. Well, Dr. Boyer wanted to collect the history of Las Vegas. To him, it meant the history of the Rotary Club. Same difference, right? That's what Dr. Boyer believed. So I was hired at one point to begin to collect some of those interviews, well before there was an Oral History Research Center. And that year that I came out to interview just a few members of the Rotary Club, I was going to teach them how to conduct these interviews themselves. That's what Dr. Boyer and Bert Perdue and a few other people wanted at that time. After a couple of weeks of workshops, they said, oh no, this is too hard. this is just too hard. So Dr. Boyer began to work behind the scenes so that UNLV could have its own oral history research center. That center started in 2003. And now they had to have a director of that center. And because Dr. Boyer knew me just a little, and I had tried to train them, I was one of the people that was considered as the director of the Oral History Research Center. And for some reason, I don't know how it happened, but I got this job. So I always credit Dr. Boyer being behind the scenes. So that year that I first interviewed some of the Rotary Club members in the year 2000, Dr. Harold Boyer was interviewed, Norman Hillbreath, Albert Perdue, Joseph Theoret, sort of. Theriot, that's right, thank you. J.A. Taberti. So why not more? The rest would not sit for interviews. So we had the money, I was here, so we began to interview some women in the community. We interviewed Kay Dwyer, Edith Katz-Yakerer, Laura Bell Kelch, and Kit Waldman. And I decided to also add some people from the African American community. I was already here. We were already interviewing, couldn't get enough in one category. We just went to other categories. I did Gene Collins, Monroe Williams, first Black on the fire department, John West, son of Dr. West, the first Black doctor, Ruby Garland, and Hazel Duran. So let me show you just a tiny, tiny bit about how those interviews went. Dr. Boyer said that the Rotary Club was one of the best things that had ever happened to him in his life. Dr. Boyer talked about many, many topics. He talked about the Rotary, of course, as his main topic. He said one of the big programs was the Polio Foundation. It was a Rotary international undertaking. They were going to vaccinate the world. And this group raised thousands and thousands of dollars. Every club in the United States participated, but he gave this club credit for doing an especially wonderful job. And I believed him. And today, as I sat there listening at you give and you donate to this community, I believe Dr. Boyer. Dr. Boyer also wanted to tell me his Al Capone story. Everybody has an Al Capone story, right? He said that his patients would come in to see him, and it was surprising what kinds of stories they would tell. Just talking. They had confidence in him. So one young patient came in one day and he said, Dr. Boyer, I was a clerk at Al Capone's office in Chicago. I lived maybe 10 blocks from the office, so I would walk home for lunch every day. And one day they said to me, there's a brand new black T-Model 4 downstairs that you can drive back and forth home every day when you go to lunch. After much persuading, he relented and he began to drive the car back and forth every day when he went to lunch. One day he decided to open the trunk of the car. And he found what we call today a Tommy gun. So he got back into the car, he went back to the office, and he said, here's the key, I just prefer to walk. So that gentleman, that patient of Dr. Boyer, would talk about this sometimes. And once he came to Las Vegas, he would run into some of those guys. It was just a nod. They didn't say anything. He didn't say anything. Everyone lived happily ever after. So one of the other people that I interviewed that I appreciated so very, very much was J.A. Tiberti. Now, a lot of you, do we have any Tiberti members in the house? Because I'm going to tell a story that you might not like, but I'm going to tell it anyway. So J.A. Tiberti, you see this house? So if you go to Boomtown over in Springs Preserve, you're going to see several houses. Mr. Tiberti did not live in that house. He lived in a little building in the back of that house. That building, or one similar to it, is over in the Springs Preserve today. But guess who lived in the front house? The lady who eventually became Mrs. Tiberti lived in that front house. So J.A. Tiberti was one of the most kind, gentlemanly, old world people that you have ever met. He was just elegant. He knew how to make you feel like you meant something. And he made everybody feel that way, except maybe one time. So I asked him if at first all the Rotary members were male. And he said, all male. And I was the first one to object to bringing women in. I objected to it. I wasn't real serious, but I thought that this had been so good. Why do you want to bring women in and wreck the club? I know women. First of all, they'll be a little pushy and they'll work so hard. First thing you know, they want to be president. In 3 years, we had a woman president. And who was on her board? I was. She pushed for me to be on her board, that Katie Crockett. He said, and I think it was fine. And he said, but they're going to take over the world. So those are the ways that we collect the history of the Rotary Club and of other people and places in the Las Vegas community. We have put together probably 15 different oral history projects over the years since 2003. Right now, we're doing the Asian American Pacific Islander project. Stephanie Evans is our project manager on that project. We have students who work with us, and she has students that are members of various communities in the Asian American Pacific Islander diaspora. So that means that when we go to a person to interview them, they're being interviewed by a person who already understands the culture. So that's the way we are able to collect the history of Las Vegas. We've done Building Las Vegas. And because we have people in this room who helped to build this city, we've interviewed them. We've interviewed people in the Tiberti family. We've interviewed people in the Thomas family. So we get to know the real history of the city, not just what you see in the notes of the city council or the newspaper articles. We actually sit down and we talk to the movers and shakers of the community. And that's what you're getting ready to do. So you heard a few minutes ago that I attended the meeting last week of the 25 Club. And you already know that those are the young people in your club. They are getting ready to start an oral history project that we will archive and preserve at UNLV. So please, when they ask you for an interview, please don't do like the first people that we tried to interview back in the year 2000. Say yes, and you will be astounded, just astounded at your memories, how you can contribute to the history of the city. So we're going to help that group, that 25 club. We are going to help them all that's possible. We did one workshop with them last week, and we'll go back and do another one when they really get started, because you know, you have those butterflies in your stomach when you sit down, even with somebody you know sometimes. We're going to help them get over that. So we want you to say yes when they ask for an interview. Let me just tell you how easy it is sometimes to not adhere to the principles that we know work in oral history. So one of the 5 people on that list that was interviewed in 2000, I went over the interview the other day, and there was not one word about Rotary. Can you believe that? That person's interview is over 50 pages typewritten. And we talked about everything. We talked about his career in the legislature. We talked about leading one of the biggest law firms in the city. I know so much about this gentleman, and there's not one word about Rotary. It was so interesting that the two of us, both of us, forgot. That can't happen again. So sometimes those kinds of things happen. We are going to design questions especially for this project so that we can never forget that again. So I'm going to stop now. As this adventure that this 25 club is going to embark upon, as this adventure starts, I want you to ask me questions. I don't want you to be frightened when they call you for an interview. It's not going to hurt. You're going to sign a form giving this organization and UNLV the right to use what you say for educational and research purposes. We have researchers from all over the world who come here to do research. And Special Collections does something else as well. We collect manuscript collections and photograph collections. So if you're a person who, we have that for the Rotary Club. But let's say that you're a member of another club, and in your garage, you have boxes of materials that are just there on a shelf since you were president of that organization. Well, we want you to let us know so that you can donate those kinds of papers to UNLV, because that's the way we write the history of the city. So I am open for questions. I want you to ask yes. No. Oh, go ahead.
Before I give the mic over, let me just clarify. You did in 2000 interview all of those women. Laura Bell Kelch was one of them.
Yes.
She was one of the 2 first women members of this club.
Wow. Isn't that amazing?
Along with Thalia Dondero,
and I've
county
interviewed.
commissioner.
So we have Thalia Dondero's interview as well. Wonderful. Thank you.
I was delighted to see the cabin for Taberti.
Yes.
That was a project by the Las Vegas Rotary Club for the centennial year of Rotary, which is by coincidence the same year as Las Vegas turned 100. It took us almost 2 years to get permission to move that cottage from downtown to the Springs Preserve, because you had to move all the lighting and everything
That's
else.
right.
So through the generosity of the Las Vegas Rotary Club and the Taberti Foundation, that house, it has a beautiful sign outside. It says donated by the Las Vegas Rotary Club and the Taberti family.
And if you have not seen it, if you have not been to the Boomtown area of the Springs Preserve, you have to go, and you have to go inside. because the furnishings are just beautiful. The historian, the male historian, went antiquing right here in the town, and he furnished it. It is just amazing. Yes, sir.
We have a permanent scholarship to UNLV for civil engineers under J.A. Taberti.
Wow.
And then Paul, the son-in-law of J.A. Taberti, gave one scholarship last year of $3,000 again for civil engineering. And so we're very much involved with behind J.A. Taberti because he was one great man.
Yes, he was.
And I had the pleasure to be with him.
Great.
Thank you. When you had trained us, you had mentioned that for previous projects, that the interviewee actually got a transcript and a bound book. Any decisions on that yet?
Did you see me look at my boss? Okay. If you are going to do all the behind the scenes work, all of the behind the scenes work, well, we know that we talked about that the other night. You have someone who's already volunteered to do the transcribing. There's a little additional work. Well, let's talk about that because it's a real possibility that we can do that as well. The books are beautiful. They're bound in Rebel Red. And we would love to do that for Rotary members because when you think about it, without Rotary, without Dr. Boyer deciding that I'm going to use my personal funds to help start this venture, we wouldn't have it. So yes, we will do that. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, good. Yes, I will. So yes, that's very good. We really should do these books and have them bound because let me give you an example of how powerful those books are. There was a person in the community here that I wanted to interview. I really wanted to interview him. And I had approached him several times. He would always say no. But I had interviewed a friend of his, and that friend had moved to Mississippi. The person that I wanted to interview so badly was in Mississippi visiting and saw the bound book on the coffee table. And he called me from Mississippi to schedule an appointment for his interview. So that's how powerful those books are. Thank you for reminding me. Yes, we'll do that. Yes, we'll make that part of the project.
So, question over here.
Oh, yes.
Yep, thanks for speaking with us today.
Sure.
If somebody's interested in going and seeing what you have, and is there an index? Is this online? Is the oral history recorded, or is it all transcripts? How does one go and enjoy and take advantage of this collection you have?
So there are several ways that you can enjoy the collection. Now, I don't want anyone to get angry. Right now, we are doing some transferring of materials from one platform to another. We're transferring them to something called Airtable. I don't know what that is. I don't know how to use it that well yet. And you may have just a little problem, but if you just dig enough around in special collections and the Oral History Research Center, you will be able to find almost every person we've ever interviewed. Now, there are some interviews that took place years and years ago. Back in the 1970s, we had a professor on campus named Dr. Roski. Every semester, Dr. Roski's class would collect interviews. We have a lot of those. Some of those are not searchable or findable. And you have to come into special collections on the third floor of Lead Library in order to read some of those. But the majority of them, if you just dig a little, you're going to find most of them. As a matter of fact, sometimes I cheat just a little. and I will go to Google and I will put the person's name in Google and say an interview with J.A. Tiberti, and it will pop up. It will pop up from UNLV, but I have gone there through Google. So just a little hint, if you can't always go through the library. Yes. Oh, I'll be with you just a second.
Go ahead.
Oh, yes, you'll find everybody in the database, and they're alphabetical when you find the correct database, so it doesn't make any difference which project. Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you for working with our club. Two things. Number one, the thousands of dollars raised. When I was president, it passed $1 million, and that was 15 years ago. So who knows how much we've given to the Rotary International Foundation. Secondly, there is a history that every president writes after their presidency that lists their major projects.
Wow.
Now, most presidents, I won't say all of them, most of them, their verbosity exceeds their hearts. So that's especially me. So that's been cut down though, in our book that we get every year, that's been cut down drastically. So all I'm saying is, if it hasn't already been done, is that you need to get the full history that every president has written after their year is over, because that'll show you all the things we've done. And I can tell you, there are things that I don't know that we did that I'm surprised at from before I was in the Rotary Club. And there are things that people in this Rotary Club now don't know that some of us did 20 years ago.
That's
so
correct.
it's all a big, a big mystery.
Wonderful. So thank you so much for that. Do we have that donated? Yes. Okay, good. So we have that in the archives. Thank you so much. Oh, yes. Okay. So recent history in Las Vegas. This is one of the reasons I like what you are doing, because believe it or not, there's probably no one in this room that is too young to be interviewed. Even if 30 years from now, you sit for an additional interview, that's fine. So right now we're doing a couple of projects that we're doing just that. Now, when we start a project, we try to interview the oldest people in the community because we want to understand the history of that community. Yes, we do our research, but there's nothing like taking that research that you dug for and you found out all the facts and all the years. There's nothing like now sitting down talking to someone who lived those experiences. So you will find some of our younger people being interviewed today. The Asian American Pacific Islander Project is perfect. It's a perfect example of that. We've interviewed some people in their 30s because they've had such interesting lives here in this community, in entertainment, in communications, in all kinds of areas, in law. So we are doing all of that now. We have strayed from that old model that was once established, that there had to be one person interviewing one person with a recorder in the middle of the room, in the middle of the table. We don't do that anymore. If there is a family that want to be interviewed together, 3 generations of a family, we will sit down, one of us, and we will interview all of them together. So those are some of the things we're doing so that we can look at a family, the evolution of a family, the longevity of a family over time. So those are some of the things we're doing. When we do a project also, we go into the community in a way that is kind of unique. With every project, except for this one, because of COVID, we have community events. We will conduct a panel discussion. We will allow our students to moderate a panel discussion at an evening program with food that is the food of the group that we're interviewing. And people will come out, the community will come out and enjoy that, meaning that we will get more interviewees, more people who want to narrate their lives for us. And there's one other thing we do, I hope it doesn't slip my mind. We also, there is something else we do in the community. It will come back to me in just a few minutes. So any other questions about anything that we do in the Oral History Research Center? I thank you so much for having me.
Clayton, thank you for all you do for us and for being here with us today. I have a little. We need a picture, first of all.
Did I move? Okay, good, thank you.
And we have a Soul Power Award for you. We donate a pair of shoes to a needy child in your name.
Oh, great, thank you, I love that.
Thank you.
Oh.
Okay. Thank you, David. Randy Donald gave me this cigar case at the beginning of the meeting. Somebody left it at his house at the Cigar Fellowship. I'm not going to touch that line. Okay. Well, it's here. I'll give it back to Randy, and if anybody knows who it is, please let us know. Thank you. Meeting adjourned.